Hi everyone, and welcome back to Save and Serve with Steph. This is another appliance video. Here in front of me I have the Nutrimill Grain Mill. We purchased this appliance when the cost of flour went up dramatically ever since COVID. Also when there was a shortage of supply. Also with doing research on eating healthier, we found that the store-bought flour is essentially stripped of all its nutrients. And after sitting for a long period of time, weeks, months, who knows how long it's been on the shelf for, it just deteriorates more and more. So with milling your own grain, you can keep all the nutrition in the grain until it's milled, and then only mill what you need for your recipe. That gives you the most bang for your buck in the nutrition side of the fence. So with that being said, I will just show you briefly what this grain mill looks like. So we have a lid for on top of the hopper for storing it when not in use to prevent, dust and bugs from getting in there. You can take the hopper off by pressing this button on the corner here, giving it a little twist. So that's the hopper. That's where all the grain goes through. You can fit about 4 cups of wheat berries in the hopper at a time. From there, you have the grinding stones. So these are grinding stones. There are mills out there that use metal. I wanted the stones because I find I don't want any issues of any metal pieces getting broken off. So basically, for milling the flour, the wheat berries get trapped in between the 2 grinding stones, and as they spin, it cracks it and turns it into flour. You can adjust the space in between the grinding stones depending on the coarseness of the flour you want. You can go really coarse, you can have it just so it cracks the grain, or you can go up to super fine. And then to make that adjustment is this knob here. So if you see this little red line, it can tell you sort of where it is. So if you turn it counterclockwise here, it gives more space between the discs to give a coarser grind. We like to have fine flour, so I like to have it pretty close to as far closed as I can get it. You don't want it all the way closed because you can risk burning the discs together, which could wear them out faster and needing to replace them. And then basically you have the spout that you would have a bowl underneath, and then the milled flour goes into the bowl. And yeah, we have on-off switch on the side. And yeah, from there I will take this over to my appliance corner and give you a brief sort of demonstration on how it works. All right, so we're here in our little appliance corner, as I like to call it. One other thing I wanted to show you, the grain mill did come with a cleaning brush, so you can get any excess flour out of the spout, any sort of wiping down it needs. One thing that you would need to purchase separately is a little fine mesh sieve. We had this from a family member that used to mill their own grain, so we've been using it. It's been holding up pretty well. And then yeah, here I have, this is hard red spring wheat, so just spring wheat grain. Everyone calls these wheat berries. Basically, wheat berries keep their nutrition stored pretty much indefinitely. It only starts losing the nutrition as you process it, essentially. So that's why we only mill what we need. Another thing I want to note is that this is very loud, so I highly recommend wearing ear protection. You also want to start up the machine before you put any grain through it first. In between grinding a hopper, you will want to let the machine sit and cool down for a few minutes. You just don't want the flour to get too hot, because as it grinds, the stones do heat up as well. The next step is to process the milled grain through a fine mesh sieve. You necessarily don't have to do it, but you do get rid of quite a few of like the husks from the grain by putting the sieve through. And then we have chickens which do enjoy that little bit of extra treat. So just a little bit at a time, just sort of shake it through. And yes, you will get a little bit of flour dust everywhere, but that's a pretty easy mess to clean up. So that's basically all the husks of the grain here. So you see how it's a darker brown. Some little fine pieces will get into the flour. You can always, I believe there are smaller sieves as well, if you really wanted to get it down to almost like the white flour at a grocery store, but we're going with whole wheat flour, a little healthier, getting rid of the husks so it's not as gritty, so my kids will at least eat it. We just put it in a bowl off to the side and throw it outside to my chickens after. Now there are different kinds of wheat. So I have hard spring wheat. There's also soft wheat. And different grains will give you different weight measurements per cup. I find that the hard wheats are a good like 1-to-1 ratio for replacement with a store-bought flour. Plus, it is really good for making like pasta noodles, breads, things like that. If you wanted to make like desserts, like cakes, something more soft and fluffy like that, you would want to go more with a soft wheat.